So this episode was a lot of fun. This is episode 32 of the Clive Barker podcast. And this time what we did, we interviewed Russell Cherrington, and then the next day we talked with Russell Cherrington, the Restoration Director of Nightbreed. And then we talked with the next day. So we did that on Saturday. And then the next day on Sunday, we talked with Jimmi Johnson, who is the editor for the Cabal Cut of Nightbreed. So, originally we had planned to make these two separate episodes, but they are short enough that we can put them back to back in one episode. So that's kind of what we did. These were recorded on 2 different days, so they technically are 2 different episodes, but in the interest of getting everything to you as we do it, which we mostly try to do. We don't usually hold our episodes back. We put these together in one. So Russell Cherrington was great. He gave us a lot of great information about the plans for the Cabal Cut and for Nightbreed. And Jimmi Johnson, we really kind of delved into the the editing of Nightbreed and the philosophy and what works and what doesn't work and all of the work that he put into it and which we all really appreciate. So so it was great. Anyway, if you have any feedback or questions for us, please let us know. Enjoy. Well, this is the Clive Barker podcast, episode 32. Russell Cherrington, and this is our second time that we've talked to you. You're the Restoration Director for the Cabal Cut of Clive Barker's Nightbreed.
Yes, I am. Yes, thank you, guys. Yeah, and thank you both for all your support and help that you give every day and every week to the cause of getting this film to its true audience. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And there's.
My pleasure.
So I guess we'll kind of jump right in. The footage that was found in Ohio, who found that?
Well, that was found, we think, by Morgan Creek. Myself and Mark and a few other people have been, trying to get all the component elements together so that we can finish this off and get it released. Because now, at the moment, that's the journey we're on. The kind of screening it thing is winding down a little bit, and we're trying to create a deadline, a release date, and get it together. So people have been looking for Nightbreed things in 20th Century Fox's vaults. And it turns out that in a vault, some materials turned up. Now, the great thing about that is anything that turns up is fantastic, but what's turned up isn't the source footage. What's turned up is different. It's the release print, a few different foreign edition kind of dubs, and it's 2 cinematic trailers and some bits and pieces, but it's all turned up together, and it hasn't been gone through. Nobody's gone through it and viewed it yet. So right now there's an itinerary of what's contained. It doesn't say this is source footage, etc.
So did they send you the itinerary?
They sent it. Mark and I have seen it. We got very excited, had a lot of emails, said, well, this needs to be, kept quiet until we can find out what it is. Talked to Michael about it, talked to Clive about it, and then basically come to a realisation that until we see it and go through it, it just sounds like it it's the movie in its original form and a couple of trailers. But I'm sure within there is material that myself and Mark can use to keep this going.
Okay.
Well, that's
yeah, but Morgan Creek already has what you need for the theatrical release to, right? I mean, so anything that you find in there from the theatrical release probably isn't helpful.
Well, no, my goal is, and everybody's goal here is to release Nightbreed and to release the Cabal Cut. So it's almost two separate films that you get and packaged together. And to be able to rescan the original film using modern technology is going to improve the look of that. Okay. So to rescan at like 4 or 5K and then create a version that's absolutely stunning is our absolute goal. So, and then once it's been rescanned and all the sound elements have been reconstructed, then that helps the Cabal Cut. So it helps.
So what Morgan Creek has wouldn't help, wouldn't help you with that. Whatever they're using to make the DVDs.
Well, no. All they're using to make the DVDs is a digital master. So they've created a digital master, and that's all that's going on. It's just like if I duplicate a copy of a film that I've made at home.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just basic duplication. It's not high quality stuff. It's and what people are getting if they buy one of those on demand DVDs is not high quality as we come to expect in an age where we can buy Blu-rays. And you look at a company like Criterion or, in my country, Masters of Cinema, you actually see people doing this properly.
Yeah. And,
in my journey to reconstruct Nightbreed, I've learned a lot about digital restoration and the companies that do it in England, and I know exactly what we need to do.
Okay. So, where is this footage going? I mean, is it going to get sent to Morgan Creek right now, or is it going to be sent to Clive Barker or you?
Well, Clive Barker doesn't own the film, and nor does he own the rights to Nightbreed. It's all owned by Morgan Creek, so it goes there. There's a big discussion going around at the moment, and there's a very interested party in releasing this. And we're at a stage now where we're constructing budgets and looking at materials, and I'm talking to people in England about how we can restore from the work prints, how we can do the frame by frame digital restoration, removing dirt, removing any kind of time code, and basically.
And the 1989 thing on the
So we're spending a lot of money on it to bring it up to the same standard as the DVD release, which is what you can do with the work prints. But it's time and it's not cheap. But there's somebody that wants to. There's a company in America excited to release Nightbreed, and they want to release both versions. But obviously, they're going to give us a budget, and we've got to work within that budget with the film and with the two work prints.
Okay. I mean, is that something that we could talk about, who that company is?
And we can't name them yet because nobody's inked a deal, but they're a good, decent distributor, and they're excited to do it. There's a lot of conversation going on, but what we can tell people right now is that somebody wants to release it, and that's exciting. There's 2 or 3 companies at the same time interested, so this just looks like the best company to release it. So obviously once we have a deal, it's going to be released, it's got a release date, you guys will know straight away, and we'll be able to tell everybody.
And Michael Plumides, in his interview, kind of mirrored what we were thinking the release could be: is a box set with a Blu-ray of the theatrical release, and then the best possible version of the Cabal Cut. Is that still kind of what the plan is?
Yeah, well, I hope that they both, with Blu-ray technology, you could have them both on the same Blu-ray, essentially, and you have branching sequences that you can see the differences. You can watch the Cabal Cut, but the Cabal Cut won't look like it does now. The Cabal Cut is going to look at least DVD quality. So, it's going to improve, many-fold before it's actually released. And the other goal is that we still have been collecting material for a documentary. And, we still want to do that. We want to have a documentary that tells the story of Nightbreed. So, yeah.
So, will you still be working on dubbing voices back in the way that you did with Doug Bradley's voice?
Yeah, no. The one thing beyond all this fancy, let's restore this, let's do it a certain way. The dubbing of voices, or what I call the sound mix, is really one of the most important things that I'd like to spend money on. Is to create a really amazing sound mix. Yeah.
Okay.
And also with the music, the scoring of the movie, right? Because the scoring in the Cabal Cut is still provisionary.
Yeah, the score, everything really is the whole soundtrack needs work. It needs to become symbiotic between the original film and the Cabal Cut. So, a proper sound mix, which would take a couple of weeks to do, with redubbing quite a few characters, bringing sound up to speed, and putting music on there properly is what we would achieve. Yeah.
Mm. Right. Okay. So, like Catherine Chevalier and Nicholas Vince, people that have two different voices, depending on which footage you're in.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we want to bring it back to the people that perform the characters, don't we? So, we're not going to dub the American dubbed voices onto it. We're going to go back to as many original voices as we can.
Okay. Well, that's great. And then we're kind of assuming that there won't be as many screenings this year as there were in 2012.
But there'll still be some screenings, but we listed a new one, didn't we, yesterday? Yeah. And there's discussions with people right now. There's no point in saying about them until they become confirmed, because there was nearly one in Texas in May, and then all of a sudden he turns around and says, "Oh, I'm not going to do it now," and then you're just going to look silly if you keep putting them up and then they don't happen. So there's one now that for May in America, and it's a proper film festival, and if it comes together, we'll be going. There was almost a screening in Brazil, but the fine details of that didn't happen.
Oh,
but
wow.
People are still... Come September, and, touch wood, if the film's all finished, there's lots of places want to screen. So there's lots of offers for September, October, and screenings would then recommence with a version that, is going to be released on DVD. And that's to promote the DVD. So, yeah.
I have one question, which I don't know if you'll be able to answer, which is, but the theatrical cut, the original negative, is preserved by Morgan Creek, right? They can just scan that to HD whenever they want to.
Yeah, well, that's what should happen, but that's why it would be good during the restoration process that Morgan Creek sent those materials to England, and I did that with the British Film Institute while we're reconstructing the movie. So, so I'd like to be the person that supervises the rescanning of negatives. Yeah,
that makes sense. And the footage in Ohio, Michael had said that he doesn't think it was stored properly, so there's a good chance that it was damaged.
Well, yeah, but there's a conversation about that. But restoration work can happen. I haven't seen it. There's always been these stories about Nightbreed and things being damaged, etc. So let's wait while we see it. I said, the trailers can be extras on the DVDs, anything that we find. We're looking for materials for the DVD as well. So,
And if the trailers are things that we've never seen before, maybe there's scenes that you can use.
Yeah, well, absolutely. But again, like the work that I'm sort of trying to get going here is to enhance and develop the Cabal Cut, and anything that can go in there is fantastic. So, yeah.
Yeah. It brings me to mind that one of the trailers that actually has been released along with the movie on the DVD actually has a scene that was not in the movie, which is Boone is on a doorway and he's looking into Midian and he says something like, "I won't let you down." And it's like one of those little bits that never made it into the movie. So the trailers, sometimes they have footage which didn't make the final cut, so who knows?
Yeah, because they cut the trailers really early, don't they? That's why you've got the original voices on the trailer as well.
Sure,
all the pieces were very, very different on that trailer. So they're exciting things, to have, especially because they may have cut 3 or 4 different variants on a trailer before they decided on one. So, yeah, everything that can come forward, and remember that we will, even if we take things out of the Cabal Cut, we will still put them on the DVD as deleted scenes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because, that's DVD, Blu-ray, you want deleted scenes, you want to give the people the opportunity to see it. There's often a debate, isn't there, about the Sons of the Free and, like showing lots of guns and then getting ready for battle. Well, if some of that comes out, it'll be deleted scenes, but other people love it and some people don't. So,
yeah.
It's hard for me to be, to look at it, subjectively or objectively. I mean, I think because, for me, I liked the first version that I saw the best. Nostalgia, I guess, and also I think because being a fan, of the movie as much as I am, I think anything extra I love because it's something new something new. Nightbreed and Clive Barker related, yeah. So yeah. I can't really look at it like what makes this a good movie, I guess.
In terms of pacing, you mean? Like,
I don't care about pacing at all.
You want everything.
Really
you want the kitchen sink included in there too.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's being a fan.
Yeah, in the footage that we have, I think there's a fantastic kind of 2 hour 10 film, all right, that would play wonderfully, everyone would love it, and then there's some deleted scenes. But I mean, my commitment to this film is that like you, I've seen its longest version. I know how it works. It's called the Cabal. We would never not focus on being Cabal because that's all it ever wanted to be. It's that kind of movie, isn't it? So don't worry, we're never going to lose it. We're never going to lose the magic of what we've got now, and we're not going to hide scenes and stop people from seeing them because it has caused a lot of debate. And I worked out recently that we screened it to around about 8,000 people last year, which is amazing.
Yeah, it was like 24 screenings or something like that.
Yeah, and so we did really well. Our biggest screening was about 1,300 people. So.
Wow. The Empire Cinema one?
The London one, sold out at 10 o'clock in the morning. The festival was pretty...
Wow.
Oh, this film might not do so well. It's 20 years old. We'll put it on in the morning. Nobody will bother. So it'll get the audience that turns up. And then they sell out. And they're like, oh, my God, it's sold out.
Yeah.
And then they start... creating T-shirts and posters, which was really naughty after they, and without asking anybody. But hey, of course it happened.
So we talked about plans for the. Do you think that there might be a possible? This is something that came from Michael, and it was something that I don't know if it was wishful thinking or if it was like being extremely optimistic or something. But he mentioned the possibility in the future that there might be a limited theatrical release of the Cabal Cut. I guess this is something that Morgan Creek will still think about. You don't have any comments on that?
No, well, if they do, I'd be the happiest man on earth. And their idea around September is to show it at places in America around that season and to do it at Draft House cinemas and places like that. Yeah, so there's definitely that, and to screen it, at festivals. Not going really to horror conventions, but to festivals to screen it. So
okay.
And then I know that the release is still being planned and everything, but I think back in 2009, Phil and Sarah started working on that Nightbreed companion book. Is that something that might get included in the release?
Well, I've had no conversation with Phil and Sarah about that book,
okay.
No inclusion, no information. So I can't really speak for Phil and Sarah. I mean, they do a fantastic job and they have great resources, and I'm sure that when the time comes, to create a booklet to go with it. I'm sure that we can all talk to each other. Phil and Sarah did give us promotional images and are incredibly helpful at promoting screenings. But, yeah, so when the time comes again, we'll all talk to each other, get together and work out the best way of actually promoting this. I mean, one of the coolest things is to think that we'll actually hear a Clive Barker commentary for Nightbreed, won't we?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Imagine that, a Clive Barker commentary. Me and Mark will do a commentary with Clive for the Cabal Cut, so it would be fantastic.
That is wonderful news. Yeah, absolutely. So is he still is he still involved in changes to the Cabal Cut, or will he be involved in the final cut of the Cabal Cut? I mean...
There's no... I work with Clive and Mark, and I wouldn't do it without them. That's where my loyalty is. And this isn't my film, it's Clive's film, and, I'm lucky enough that he believes in me enough for all these years, and he believes in Mark, that he wants us to be the people that finish this for him. You remember, Clive's health hasn't been so good, and he trusts us. Mark's been doing this for a long time, out of sheer love. Look at what happened recently, the Total Film article. How amazing is that to be voted 14th best restoration when all 29 other ones had studio money. One of them was $100 million movie that was number 30. We were not a no budget movie, came 14th and beat The Exorcist, and
that's amazing.
That right there,
pretty cool.
That is really cool. And that's been achieved by the power of all the people wanting to watch this movie and the care and attention that everybody's given it.
Yeah, it's a very anticipated movie for the last 22 years, so I'm really happy that it's finally coming to light.
Brilliant, yeah, we all are. Yeah, it's fabulous. Anything else you want to know?
Well, we saw your movie that you did with Doug Bradley, To the Devil His Due.
The one that's online isn't. I'm going to put it up myself because that's not what you should be watching.
All right.
It's been tampered with. Somebody's done some, put their own sound on it and some edits, and it's not the movie that anyone should be watching it. So that version should be taken down.
Okay, I've just seen the DVD that you.
You've seen the DVD, so you've seen the real version. Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do is my editor's here now, and we're going to take that version. We're going to put the version up on the Strange and Beautiful tab to the same place you can watch the Cabal Cut, and anybody that wants to see it will be able to watch it on there. It should be up tomorrow or Monday. So
on Occupy Midian.
Yeah. I'll put on the where you can watch the trailer for the Cabal Cut is linked to my Strange and Beautiful Productions.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, the YouTube channel.
Okay. Yeah. With like the Clive Barker documentary that I made about him painting, the art one. So what I'm going to do, and it's got the Doug thing, so I'm going to put it up on there, and then we can announce it properly on Occupy Midian. Anyone wants to watch it can watch the right version, because, you've seen the right one, Ryan. It's got some extras on it, and it's got Doug Bradley dancing with the dead guy, which was done. And I think somebody's going to integrate some of that into the other cut, and
okay.
Yeah, so basically, what I'm going to do is show you how it was meant to be seen. Then anybody that likes Doug or Clive or wants to see anything else can watch that movie there. So
okay,
right. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. No, you're welcome.
Are there any future projects that you can tell us about?
Well, we are. Well, both me, Clive, and Mark are very actively trying to get films made now. All based around Clive Barker's work. So, We talk, obviously we know that Clive doesn't own Nightbreed, Clive doesn't own Hellraiser, but pretty much everything else is his. There's a bit of conversation about does Clive own Roehead Rex or does he not, and et cetera, et cetera. But, anything that's been made in the past, the rights tend to belong to a host company. But if you think about this, there's a wealth of material. So, I've for a few years now, been working on making one of the Books of Blood into a feature film. I don't think that all the Books of Blood would make good feature films because some of them are just too short. The one that I've chosen the script is finished. Christian Francis worked on it with me. Is great. It's an absolutely fantastic piece of writing, and it's going out to actors and people right now, and the crew's getting attached. And basically, what is going to happen is that project's going to gestate a little bit more. It's with some studios, and then we're going to make an announcement, and the announcement can come from one of your podcasts. But let's just say. That I'm going this year, with a bit of luck, by the end of this year, I'll be in production on one of the Books of Blood. It will have an amazing, fantastic cast. You'll know some of the names from Nightbreed, but there'll be a lot of great British actors, and it will be made with a decent budget. It'll look fantastic, and it will not be a weak adaptation of a Clive Barker novel or a story. Believe me. It'll be, faithful. Like, we could go on about those Books of Blood movies, but it's going to be how it should be done. And it's something I was working on this even before the Cabal Cut, even before I edited that. The script has, developed over a number of years, and I also think that there's room. We've been talking to other filmmakers about Clive Barker. There's room to sort of to try and get this all going again. Mark's got his Sickness project. Mark wants to get Clive Barker films together.
I think that's great. Do you think that Clive Barker kind of lost heart in making movies after what Lionsgate did to Midnight Meat Train? Once. But Lionsgate did what it did to Midnight Meat Train. Midnight Meat Train is what it is now. It's got good bits in it. It's got bits in it that I don't like as much. But, I mean, I'm trying to treat this as, like, make it, get enough money to make it, sell it around the world, and just make something fantastic. I mean, I really want to tell you all about it, but that won't serve any purpose just now. I think we don't want to jinx it.
No, let's not. Let's just say when Empire and Fangoria and Rue Morgue and everybody announce it, you guys will get an exclusive interview. I'll tell you who's going to be in it. I'll tell you what's happening. I'm meeting an amazing actor in 2 weeks, and if he's in it, and then it's ready to go. And like I've got a lot of amazing people in the crew. When I tell you the story, you won't believe, but they're all coming because of the script. Everybody loves it. So, I think
it's just great to see Seraphim movies getting started again.
Yeah, well, it's Seraphim. It's Mark and Clive are associate producers on this. I'm making it as an associate, as a production with Seraphim through my own production company with the studio over here. So, I wouldn't entertain making a Clive Barker film without working with Clive Barker. So.
And not everyone can say that.
No. We know that Travis's have been made. We know that. I mean, I love Hellraiser, and I think that Clive Barker films should be made in that kind of way. So
yeah,
I think we all agree on that one. And if anyone should be doing them, you are, because you're as much of a fan, even more than we are in some respects, and you have a direct connection to Clive Barker. So I'm really hoping to, hear more about this project. We did see that you posted a cryptic message on your Facebook saying that you reached out to Hammer for this project, and Hammer said it was too bloody. And so that sounds really exciting.
So our tagline for that is, what we're going to use it on our publicity, is too extreme for Hammer. That's what we said. Which kind of tickles me, because if joking aside, I love Hammer. I love Hammer, all the past films, but let's face facts here, right? The Hammer films, since they came back, are more for Harry Potter fans than horror fans. Yeah, in my opinion, you know, and I'm not having a go at them, but, you know, I don't want to make a film that's like The Woman in Black. You know,
right.
I'll give you a clue about my film, and I'll happily say this to everybody. My film will be more like Don't Look Now and things like that, and The Devils and other things, and it will be like A Woman in Black. You know, it's going to be a whole different kettle of fish. So yeah, it's kind of you know, I liked the moment in time when Hammond was reading the script. I liked it when it went to their American people. I liked that they wanted to do it, but when they came back and said, "Sorry, it's not for us. It's too extreme." Hey, I could have still liked it. It was funny. It gave us that what they said, and I was like, I'm cool with that, you know, because I don't want to make it for a 15-year-old. I want to make it, you know, an R rated in America or an 18 in England. It definitely will reach those people.
Yeah, I miss the days when the comedies were PG and the movies were R instead of being the other way around. Nowadays, it's like the horror movies are like NC-17 or PG-13, and the comedies are restricted. So that's just not right. All right. Well, that's...
And I think one of the best adaptations, you know, one of the most well-received adaptations is Candyman. And I mean, the setting is different, but I think because there are so many lines taken straight out of the short story,
and that's a good case in point. I love Candyman too, and my film will definitely be as strong an adaptation as Candyman for sure. I mean, everyone that's read it, everyone that's read it has said it's incredibly intelligent, fantastic, you know, powerful, visceral movie. So I know it's going to work, and I know that it's going to be made. I just have this feeling that people will want to watch it. So, yeah, it's going to happen. I believe in this project.
All right. We all believe in this project. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, great. Anytime. No, honestly, you guys we'll do a proper, you know, Clive Barker, you know, podcast on this, and you can talk about it, and we'll go into incredible detail. I'll tell you about the gestation, who's in it, you know, everything, just when the time's right, you know, because, you know, like we said, we can't afford to jinx it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. We understand.
Nobody wants that.
All right. Well, we had some fan questions.
That's great. We've had a great conversation, and as always, and we all stay in touch via the power of the internet anyway, don't we? So, and, you know, you're going to have to see the film one day. And I can't believe
I know.
Jose's never seen it. So,
well, I'm going to move to California on the 1st of March, so hopefully if there's another screening there, one day I'll be able to see it. If not, then whenever the DVD comes out, that's fine too.
Well, if the American screening happens in May, it's not too far away from you, but it might be in a different state, but not too far away. So.
All right, so that's one of my chances to watch it.
And we did have a couple of questions from listeners, really quick, if you have a minute.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Okay, so Roger Boys said, what kind of extras are currently planned for the Blu-ray release, and what would you personally like to see on there for extras?
Well, we'd like to have about a 60 to 90-minute documentary that took you from Clive writing it through the release of it, interviewing all key people, narrated by one of the cast, and basically took you on the journey, you know, went to the screenings that we've all been to and have fan input and cast input and just show why this film's had a second life. That would be there. The trailers would be there. There'd be a bespoke Clive Barker extra, you know, where he talked about the movie, and then, you know, there'd be any deleted scenes that didn't end up in the Cabal Cut. So it would be a really, you know, great, you know, thing. And like I said earlier, it would have commentaries. The Cabal Cut would have a commentary from Clive, Mark, and myself. And then, you know, Nightbreed would hopefully have a commentary from Clive and anybody else. So it would be a fantastic thing for anybody. And then, you know, packaged with some wonderful artwork, you know, it would be the best thing you could buy in 2013 on Blu-ray, if you ask me.
Okay, next twice.
Yeah, we'll buy it twice. Next question, then.
How difficult is it to track down all the bits and pieces for a definitive director's cut? And are there any pieces missing? This was from Paul Flewitt.
Well, we all know about that journey, that what we've got right now are those work prints. Mm-hmm. It's been incredibly difficult. We get excited every time anyone mentions that we might find a new bit, and we're never going to give up, and we're never going to stop until we've restored this to, the film that it should be. So we will keep looking, but hopefully pretty soon we're going to put it together with what's been discovered in Ohio and the materials we have. So, that's the best answer I can give him.
Okay. And this is just for me, but what version are you on right now? I think it was 4 that we saw at Monster Mania. Yeah,
we're on the version that will screen is version 6.
Okay.
And it probably stays like that until I start looking at the other materials. But there will be, 1 or 2 more versions before it's complete. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we will talk to Jimmi Johnson, I think tomorrow, right, Brian?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, and we can ask him some more about the editing process if he can talk about it. That'll be great.
Jimmy's fantastic. It would be good getting his perspective and finding out from him, the journey, because he's been on a real journey from, like editing short films to, being thrown off the top board in the swimming baths into the deepest pool to do this, and he'll tell you, he never thought in his life he'd go to Clive Barker's house, and then he was there, and then, I took him over to meet Clive, and it'll be really sweet. Ask him about meeting Clive Barker. That'd be a great question.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it would be. It would be fun because he was just like stood there, and I'm like pushing him forward. Go and talk to him. Go talk to him.
That's great.
The amount of people that they want to meet him, but as soon as they see him, they freeze and their mouths don't work anymore.
I've done that. Yeah. I've said some really stupid things when I met Clive Barker.
Oh. Who are you?
Okay.
So the next one I think you've kind of answered already, but Ben Winfield said, has the newly discovered footage from Fox Warehouse proven useful at all, or is it damaged too extensively? And I think you said basically that we don't know yet.
We don't know yet, and my fingers are crossed. Everything on my body's crossed. That there is something exciting in that material. So.
And Joe Skeens asked pretty much the same question. If he could tell us the status of the recently found film elements, that would be cool. So that's the same answer. Yeah,
this is why often I only really try to tell people things that are definitive, because if you give something away too soon and you don't know, it's just like if I told you about the 12 screening offers we've got and only 3 of them happened. So it's the kind of best thing to do is everybody will find out as soon as I know.
People get really excited. The few that have that we have put up that fell through, really kind of disappointed some people.
Yeah, I just got messages from people from Spain today asking me, so I read something about footage being found for the Cabal Cut. Can you tell me more about it? And I'm like, well, let's see what comes out of the interview today. So, people their ears are perking up about this.
Good. Well, never, ever do we want to put any form of negativity out there. So, there is lots of positives happening here, and so it's going to be fantastic. So let's keep it like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to set the record straight and give us some more insight on what's going on with the Cabal Cut restoration.
No, anytime, you guys, and we'll stay in touch about this, and we'll stay in touch about any other Clive Barker projects as they get near to happening. That's the best way.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see you guys sometime this year in the flesh again. So.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully
for that.
Hopefully, we'll have a screening we can go to.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to run. You guys take care.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Russell.
Okay? Have a good day. Bye, guys.
And now here's the second part, the next day, where we interviewed Jimmi Johnson, the editor for the Cabal Cut of Nightbreed. So please keep in mind also, I was really, really tired. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, both on Saturday and Sunday. And I know, that's not like a super great reason, but that's kind of why I'm a little spacey and out of it for these interviews, and I apologize. So anyway, here we go for the second part, which we recorded on Sunday, the 10th of February, 2013, an interview with Jimmi Johnson, editor for the Cabal Cut of Nightbreed. Welcome to the Clive Barker podcast with Jimmi Johnson. I guess to start out, can you, for the people listening, can you tell us how you got involved with the Cabal Cut?
Well, basically, when I was at university, Russell was one of my tutors, and during the time there, I sort of worked on a few different horror projects as just kind of coursework. And then at one point, he kind of came into contact with Hellraiser storyboards, and he got me to do some storyboard comparison things. Then a little bit later on, he kind of sort of came to me after I finished at university and sort of said, I'm sort of thinking about doing this Nightbreed thing on spec, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in editing it. So, I mean, literally, I jumped at the chance.
Yeah, that sounds like anybody would do that at this point. Yeah. I mean, ever since 2009, ever since the news came out that the tapes had been found, I guess all the fans, have been wondering what's going on with those tapes, and it just took a while until someone actually did something with them. Until Russell got a copy and he decided to do that stuff. So that's wonderful that we're at this point right now in time where, the restoration is in full swing. Which version are we on now?
Oh, God. I've lost count, actually, to be honest, because, the thing is, sort of working on it, I'm kind of always sort of doing, a few bits here, a few bits there, and sort of looking at versions. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly which official version we're on, but, it's certainly evolved a long way since the first cut that started would have been, was it last March with the Mad Monster Party? I think that was the
March,
first...
yeah. When did you start working on it before then?
It would have been perhaps about June the year before.
Oh, wow. So that was a long time.
Oh, God, yeah. The thing is, sort of, Russell came in contact with one of the tapes first, and then sort of so I kind of created the composite version, with the theatrical version, and basically it's the cut with had the copyright 1989 sort of on it, and that was, the only version I had other than the theatrical version for the longest time. And then, when we came into contact with the other footage, I was able to cut that in too. So, no, it was such a long process as well. The thing is, to begin with, it's such a speculative thing. So it was sort of, surprising that it's kind of gone as far as it has.
Yeah. The DVD footage, when you edit that in, it looks to me, and I've been to see this movie twice, but it looks to me like it's better quality than the actual DVD that you can buy.
The thing is it is just the regular DVD that you can buy, but I've just kind of upscaled it in Final Cut, so it's just where it's sort of stretched and it's a little bit, finer when it's playing back. It just looks a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, it does. Okay. So that's what it was.
Well, the thing is, sort of just recently, I've done a true widescreen version of it, and just sort of boosting the footage up again there. It looks really, really good, surprisingly good, considering it's just come straight from the DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just kind of sorry.
I have to say that I'm just the only guy here that hasn't seen the movie once, that haven't seen the movie yet. But I'm still rubbing my hands here, waiting for a chance when I am able to actually see the Cabal Cut for the first time. Ryan has been telling me all about it, so it's almost in my mind. I have seen it 20 times.
And so with the editing. José and I have talked about this off and on, but sometimes when they edit movies using work print footage, they'll do shot by shot or
frame
by frame. So using every little bit of what they have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and have you tried that, or did it look too bad to do it that way?
To start off with, I kind of started to sort of compose it with having the theatrical scenes and then sort of extending them all out to kind of have all the footage put in. But it just kind of just seemed to work a lot better to just kind of try and integrate the theatrical scenes and the work print scenes, but try not to do too much crossover because it can be quite a little bit jarring in places.
Yeah.
Do you think after the restoration of the tapes, when Russell was telling us yesterday that after the restoration, the tapes might get up to DVD quality? Maybe at that point it won't be so jarring.
Well, that's what I'm hoping anyways. I mean, as I say, I mean, just boosting the DVD up to like a slightly higher resolution output on the Final Cut there. I'm thinking that if we can kind of get this footage to look sort of almost as good as that stuff, it shouldn't be, hopefully, fingers crossed, be at least very passable. Because, I mean, I think they did that with, Army of Darkness. Right. Like, because I had the extended version of that, and, I mean, watching it back, I can't really tell where they've sort of, like, gone between the two different kind of bits of footage.
Yeah.
Well, the example that I've seen like that was the Halloween 6 producer's cut. Have you ever seen that one?
I've not seen it, but I've heard of it. I mean,
the producer's cut, they do that. They cut. There were some scenes which were extended by like 5-6 seconds or something, and they do go between the work print and the DVD footage. It is not as jarring as it might seem at first glance. I mean, they did do a lot of restoration on the work print for the producer's cut. But I'm just thinking that sometimes, there's a shot and someone is talking on the phone, and then all of a sudden it just cuts away in mid-scene to them saying something else on the phone, and then it just cuts away into another scene, which is DVD. It's not that, I mean, I haven't seen it, so I have no idea how the quality is on the work prints. But Ryan told me that two of them, so the two work prints, one of them looks much better than the other. So I don't...
Absolutely. Sorry, just have a sip of water.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is, sort of both sort of, I believe, just sort of telecine off screens, sort of projected separately. So, I mean, the quality is even like maybe a notch even lower than if it was just taken straight from video cassette. So, I mean, I think they're going to be scanning it, and that's going to help it along a lot of the way as well. Because you're kind of losing kind of a bit of range of color, like in what we've got at the moment, just simply because you're not getting each scene kind of, like with the right kind of color temperature there.
Yeah.
Sure. But ultimately, so who did the color correcting on the Cabal Cut?
It was a man named Paul Gordon. Like he's sort of like an associate of Russell's who sort of came in for, I think it was about 2 days, and sort of went through a film, sort of shot by shot, and kind of, just sort of fixed and sort of brought up the color sort of back to where it should be. But the thing is, like a lot of the stuff in the work print versions, like it had like a completely different look. Like a lot of the scenes where they're kind of almost like a sandy color in the film were kind of shot, looked like it was sort of shot with a kind of blue tinge. So it's kind of, it was sort of a case of trying to sort of balance the two sort of things out, try and make it so it was a bit more seamless. But I mean, of course, when you're sort of going through and like you're mid-scene and, the color temperature sort of shifts so much, it can kind of, again, it's sort of jarring. But but no, it was, a man named Paul Gordon. But yeah, he's really good.
What with the sound? What work has been done there? Because that was the first thing I noticed when I saw the first version of it at Mad Monster Party. Is how you couldn't really. There wasn't really much of a difference between the sound in the theatrical sections and the sound in the parts that had been added on.
I mean, that was like a big part of that first 9 months was just kind of going through and getting the sort of sound, the volume up, and kind of making sure everything kind of worked. Because I mean, there were a few places where it was just very. Basically, I had to put a filter on all the audio and kind of just boost it up and just do what I could to kind of mix it so it'd be clear. I mean, there's like a few places where I've had to kind of patch sort of audio from a different place to that place, and like integrating the work print scenes, I had to create maybe like little sort of sound loops of the atmosphere from the preceding scene so it'd sort of match in.
Wow.
And like sort of like putting the music in, I'd have to sort of create different loops to kind of bridge the gaps. And no, it's quite a lot of work. 'Cause, I mean, it's a 42-minute soundtrack, so I had to basically.
Did you also have to do some Foley work on that?
Well, I was able to sort of source a few sound effects from sort of just on the internet there, so it kind of helped sort of patch over the holes there. But no, otherwise it was all pretty much just using the elements that are already there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the last half hour of the film, I won't give it away just in case anyone's not seen it yet, like Nightbreed at all. But basically there was no sound during the siege sequence, so I had to go through and there's like a few gunshots that had the bang bang kind of sounds in, so I had to then go through and there was a lot of gunshots that didn't have any sounds and flamethrowers and all kinds of explosives and whatnot, and I just had to kind of put it all into place.
But there was sound whenever there was talking or whenever.
It when there was talking, there was sound, but I mean, it'd be of course silent in the background because I hadn't done the Foley work on that part yet.
Oh, okay.
Did you notice anything like that, Ryan? I mean, did it seem to you like it had been put in, or did it just seem seamlessly integrated?
Well, yeah. I mean, you could tell that the gunshots have, I mean, after seeing it a couple of times, I could tell that they got the gunshots.
A few of them pop.
It was amazing to me, just because I was imagining how much. I was imagining that VHS. Because I've done a lot of like importing VHS onto digital, and it's a pain in the neck. And a lot of times the sound hangs up, or you get this horrible static, and I don't know how to take that out. But
it's funny because you kind of look back on it, you just sort of think, wow, actually there's quite a lot to do on it. But I mean, like taking it just like a few weeks at a time, it just I almost forget how much actually had to be done to it. So but.
Oh, yeah. Well, geez, if you were working on it since June of 2011, that's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say that, hopefully now, as the restoration moves on, we were talking to Russell yesterday. He was telling us about getting a list of all the elements that were found. Unfortunately, some of the elements seem to be just regarding the theatrical cut and a few extra trailers and maybe some soundtracks or something. But as more bits and pieces might be able to surface, then who knows? Maybe you guys can get some bits of film to restore and actually get better quality elements for the Cabal Cut. I'm just hoping for the best here.
Absolutely. But I mean, it seems like things are kind of turning up for it all the time. I mean, I think it was at Fright Fest last year, sort of like chatting to like someone who did the special effects makeup on the film, and they had like a tape with like all behind the scenes stuff of like them sort of creating Baphomet and whatnot. So hopefully they'll be able to secure that for the DVD as well.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, gosh, there's like on Revelations. I mean, the website clivebarker.info. They have like stuff from Rory Fellows, who did a lot of miniature work and animation for the Nightbreed movie. Like he animated the Diadaria, the leopard lady, and the Mesic Mule, which is that creature that supposedly shows up in one of the scenes in the Cabal Cut. So I think he gave Phil and Sarah a copy of his archives as well. So they also got a lot of material there. And they have video, because you can see video of Peter Atkins explaining the miniature sets of Midian on Revelations. So there is that stuff there, which hopefully someone will gather together as, disc extra. That would be awesome. I mean, to have all that stuff.
I mean, especially if we can kind of source everything. Because I think, I'm pretty sure we're doing a feature-length documentary to go on the Blu-ray DVD. So, I mean, hopefully if I get all that stuff, it'll be just a very sort of comprehensive account of everything that happened.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and about that stuff, I mean, I heard there might be a Kickstarter at one point to produce a documentary. So, just in case, if that does move forward and there is a Kickstarter, Occupy Midian will definitely push towards, getting that Kickstarter funded. And, so just hoping for the best here.
I mean, it's just such craftsmanship that went behind everything in that film. I mean, just the fact it was 89 and that they were basically just making so many monsters and kind of just trying every single special effect to kind of realize it. It's just, it's an absolute celebration of just the art form of it all.
Yeah, I think at one point they got into the Guinness Book of Records for having the most makeup monsters in a movie. I need to check that, but I think I was looking at the Winchester screening video, which is on Vimeo. Someone made a video of the Winchester screening, and they cut away with Russell talking. And Russell did mention that movie got some kind of like Guinness World Record for having the most monsters in makeup in a movie. And it's just, I just think it's sad that the final cut of the movie ended up relegating so many of them into the background, and it's like so many good stuff, so many good monsters were cut from the movie. You can see all these things on Nightbreed Chronicles and a lot of behind the scenes photos and a lot of magazine articles. There was so much stuff that's just amazing, mind blowing, and they just cut it out of the final movie. So I'm hoping the Cabal Cut will do justice to a lot of those monsters, that show up.
Well, that reminds me, in the first version that I saw, There was a Nightbreed that was all in white that was jumping, like flying through the air on a trampoline.
Oh, yeah.
And in the version 4, I didn't see that character again.
I mean, he's still in it, but he's kind of towards the end. But it's kind of like some of the, basically, like on one of the parts of the film, it was kind of almost a case of just trying to look at keeping the pace up on the film a little bit. So it was like a couple of shots that got lost. Unfortunately, the man on the trampoline kind of got excised. But
I think he was in when Aunt Bobby was going through, or Laurie was going through Midian. He was there, and then he flew through the air at the end, and he killed somebody, and then jumped up in the air again, or something like that.
I mean, Sorry.
If it is the guy I'm thinking it is, he shows up in the Nightbreed Chronicles. I think it's a guy that one of his eyes is actually a mouth. I think his name is Pessoa the Pale.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell.
I don't know. I mean, he shows up in the final sequence when they're in the barn and there's that panning out.
Right.
There is a guy all dressed in white with his eye as a mouth, and he's in the background. So I'm wondering if that is the guy who you're referring to. That's another thing. We need to identify all these breed that show up. I mean, there's I mean, Ryan told me that at one point there's one of those farmers that became deformed by a meteorite, and they look like potato heads or something, and apparently that shows up in the Nightbreed Chronicles as well. And I'm actually trying to figure out the names of these people. They were like a couple of farmers. They got transformed by a meteorite. And it's like you see the Nightbreed Chronicles, so many of these don't show up. Oh, it's Giblin and Veal. So it's Giblin and Veal. They're in the Nightbreed Chronicles. There's Freak with a face all stretched out. He only shows up for like 1 second next to Yeely Cat when the attack on Midian begins. Then there's the Lizzie B, who also appears in the trailer of the Cabal Cut.
She's in the barn at the end.
She's also in the barn, in the theatrical cut, But she shows up in the Cabal Cut in the trailer that I saw. So that's cool that she's there, probably in the part where Laurie is walking around. So that's wonderful. I mean, it's just so rich. All these characters have names and backstories, but then sometimes it just appear for like 1 second in the movie. That's just mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
It'd be great if on the Blu-ray you could have like maybe an option to just kind of like identify all the different breed, like as you're going through, like a thing to kind of, so you can kind of click it and then sort of get the backstory or something.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Or like
that's wonderful.
Or you could turn on a little thing where a little pop-up bubble says the names of the different characters.
Yeah.
It's probably not got any credibility, but do you know that film 13 Ghosts? That awful like super cutty film? Like I watched it ages and ages ago, but they had like a thing on it about like all the different ghosts, just like a 30-second kind of thing on each.
Oh really?
They have like a thing like that on the film, like that you sort of click and then maybe get like a 30-second backstory for the characters.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I can't say that's definitely going to happen, but it'd be sweet if it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's amazing that even in the group, the Occupy Midian group, people are showing up that we could hardly imagine that they would ever show up in the group. Like, there's those two guys in a cage. One of them is eating another dead breed. And as Laurie is looking for Boone, and she goes into that room with Peliquin and the other weird-looking guy, and these two guys in a cage, one of them actually showed up in the group and said, "Hey, that's me in the film. Here's some pictures from behind the scenes." Yeah, and he posted pictures with that lady who doesn't have half her face, and another one that has like a face growing out of her forehead and stuff. And he posted some pictures of behind the scenes. And those two guys in the cage swinging, the guy showed up and posted pictures. He's like, "That's me in the movie. I was there like 22 years ago. I was an extra." Yeah, I think if you look for him, he only has an alias on Facebook. It's DJ Badley. But he posted 4 pictures of behind the scenes in the makeup room. And I was like, this is amazing. I mean, even extras are popping up here, and they're saying, "Hey, I was in the movie. Stand up and be counted."
Wow.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's kind of the thing, like it seemed like everyone who's a part of the film really feels like such a connection to it. I mean, like a lot of the cast members just sort of coming back and sort of saying, "Yeah, we love this film and you kind of want to be part of it, how it is now." But
yeah,
it's just,
and Bobby has been a huge help to Occupy Midian.
Oh yeah. I mean, I sort of heard like talk about it and read about all that she said, and it's just absolutely just amazing.
I just wish we could find Christine McCorkindale, who played Shuna Sassy. That would really be the cherry on the top of the cake. because I know that Catherine Chevalier, she might have been found. Okay, we don't want to pop the whole thing yet, but I think thanks to the help of Ryan, we might have found Catherine Chevalier. But let's see if it's the real Catherine Chevalier, and if she's willing to talk to us. That's a cool thing to expect.
Awesome.
So
she's the one who played Rachel.
Mm. Yeah. So, and then, how was it? Was it difficult to dub Doug Bradley's voice back in over the top of the theatrical cut?
Oh, that was kind of great. Well, the thing is I had to remove all because basically, like, it's easy enough just to cut his voice out, like where it was in the theatrical cut. But then, like, when you're cutting his voice out, you're also cutting out all the music and sound effects.
That's
and whatnot.
what I was wondering about. Yeah.
So I kind of had to line everything back up, and then, like, on one of the pieces that he's in the film, like, it's easy enough to kind of get the music over, but on the other sequence, I kind of had to patch music over the top to kind of help cover. But I mean, he recorded it all in time to how it was in the film, so it was really just a case of getting it kind of where it needs to be, and then just shuffling it along to get it to sort of match up. But I think I hope it sort of carries over.
So
did you use the 5.1 mix from the DVD?
No, it's just I think it's just the stereo mix that I've got for it.
Oh, okay. Because my DVD has the 5.1 mix. Actually, once I did something I showed to Ryan. Once I removed all the voices from the movie, and I did kind of like just music version of Nightbreed. So that was a cool thing to do. But if you get the 5.1 mix, probably that would be helpful for removing the voices without removing the music. I'm not sure to what extent you can do that, but it seemed to work well for me.
I see what you mean, because the voice is a discrete center channel. They're on different channels. So you have sound effects, you have voices, you have background music, and then some of those things are easy to get out of the 5.1 mix if you just export the AC3 file. But that's just technical stuff. I'm sure that you guys will figure it out.
Oh, I would imagine. Well, I mean, hopefully we can have like some other people to kind of work on the audio as well, and just sort of get it as crystal and perfect as possible. Because I mean,
sure.
that we'll get like a surround sound sort of mix done for it and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then, is there a timetable when the tapes are going to be baked, and then you'll be kind of starting over again with that footage?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be having a meeting with Russell in a couple of weeks' time, so I was probably going to get all the sort of the inside scoop and all that then.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know that he's had a meeting with, I think, what was it? The British Film Institute. Yeah, BFI. So I'm not sure if they're kind of getting that sorted now, or if it's going to be just in the next couple of months, or exactly when it's all happening. But I know that we're looking for an October release for it, so I'm sometime soon.
Yeah. And then there's always the hope that the footage in Ohio, that there'll be something useful in there too.
Oh yeah.
Or that something else might pop up. Yeah, who knows?
Things are sort of still turning up, not even now. So I mean, hopefully, like, you never know, in like a couple of weeks, someone else might come up with anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if the movie ends up getting delayed a few months because there's something better that can be added to it, I mean, I think people will appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as a real hardcore fan, whenever I hear that October release, it just tickles my funny bone.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's so awesome. And then there's also, there's also the slight chance of maybe a theatrical release. Limited theatrical release. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, beyond what I already know. Well, I don't really know anything about what's kind of all planned with that sort of thing. So, in sort of talking with Russell, he sort of said about there being perhaps sort of like a sort of cast and crew kind of screening when it's sort of all completed. But beyond that, I couldn't really say. But then,
I mean, that would be awesome. That would be amazing.
And also the upcoming TV project. Who knows how that is going to develop? I mean, I'm really hoping that the renewed interest when Nightbreed is re-released, that will help push forward greenlighting the whole TV show project. That would be wonderful.
Oh, yeah. That'd be very cool. But, I mean, again, I don't really know too much about that. When it was sort of screened at the New Beverly Cinema, because I sort of actually went across to LA for it, and I got to go.
That was in June, right?
I think so, yeah. I actually got to go over to Clive Barker's house and meet him and sort of meet all the people there. Like, I met Mark and sort of Russell kind of showed me around and whatnot. And it was very cool. But I actually got to, like, as part of a sort of like one-day internship, they called it, I kind of got to, like, sort through Clive Barker's, like, well, basically his junk room to kind of, because apparently there's like a few different assets in there. So I actually came across like I think it was a proposal for a Nightbreed cartoon from like
oh my god,
early 90s.
Wow.
And it's like, because, but yeah, so it had like all details about all these, I mean, I don't know how much I can say about it, but it was just kind of like, but like, really? Where did that come from? I mean,
yeah, that's cool.
But it's kind of like the Muppet Babies of Nightbreed, and I'm not sure if that would have been...
that's amazing.
That would be a strange path for it to take.
Yeah. Hey kids, this is Peliquin. He loves puppies. Something like that. That would have been funny. Wow, that's pretty amazing. So, yeah, I mean, going up to Clive's house, getting to talk to him. Well, we were just talking to Russell about that yesterday. He told us about the time when you went up there. So he was like, yeah, ask him about, when he was at Clive Barker's place, They kept pushing you, going, go on, go talk to him. It's like we were just discussing that as fans. Sometimes when you meet someone that you admire for a few years, then when you get to them, you kind of like freeze a little bit. You go like, and it's like, it's... sometimes you just don't know what to say. But yeah.
Well, this is actually the second time I met Clive Barker. I mean, the first time, basically, there was a gallery thing for like Clive Barker's artwork in Carlisle, where I used to live, where Russell used to live. And like sort of Russell kind of got me in over there and sort of said, come over, sort of meet Clive Barker, sort of like chat to him, maybe like ask if there's sort of any sort of work coming up. So, of course, there I am kind of walking around, all these kind of art people, sort of looking at all the artwork, of course. And then I had about maybe like 5 minutes to talk to him, and I was just absolutely, nerve-wracked. Like I had everything in mind to say, and then it was just like,
yeah. So what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but the second time I met him, he was just the most pleasant guy I've ever. I think when there's sort of people like that, you kind of start to put them on a pedestal, and you kind of like half anticipating them to kind of like completely fall from that. But he was just the nicest guy. Yeah. Seriously, he was just gracious and friendly, and just kind of getting to even chat to him for a few minutes there. That was a really, really great experience.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of the things that I think has helped, I don't want to use an excessive word, but humanize Clive in my eyes is when I started following him on Twitter and on Facebook, and I started to see all the sense of humor that he has and all the jokes that he does and all those things that he just goes on and he talks about them with such an amazing sense of humor. He can talk about underwear to grilled cheese sandwiches to sex to priests to all that stuff. He can be blasphemous and funny at the same time. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. The last time I saw him in California, and Mark gave me a tour of the studio. I didn't see his house. I mean, I went through the backyard, but because he was writing. But I got to see the studio, and then when we went to the signing, he was teasing me pretty mercilessly. I think after all of this time, he finally is I think he knows me, but. He likes to make me squirm, I think. So he was drawing this really kind of obscene thing in my Clive Barker Illustrator. I think just because he knew that he could, make me get embarrassed.
Was it a big penis?
It was a man whose head was a big penis.
Okay, that sounds like Clive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen stuff like that. I mean, I have some stuff that he autographed for me, even though I wasn't there in person. But someone else was there, and they took it for me, and they got it. And Yeah, he can do some pretty amazing monsters, but whenever it hits him, he just goes on and he makes these very erotic drawings, which involve So that's just how he is. So yeah, that's great. So what kind of projects are you working on now? I mean, I know that you did Lana the Goth, which had soundtrack by one of our friends, Colin, which is pretty awesome. But Lana the Goth refers back to some other characters from other works that you did, right?
No, it was just sort of like a character I came up with, and sort of since then I've been kind of like exploring the character through like a few different shorts, but I'm kind of working on trying to do like a feature script for it at the moment, because it seems like it might have whether or not I should be able to sort of get anywhere with it will sort of remain to be seen, but I've kind of got like a kind of an epic story for her, like, which may be a bit surprising from the sort of size of the shorts, but no, I'm kind of excited about it. And I'm also working with a friend of mine, Mark G. McFarlane. We've just done a short film called The Quiet Season. We're going to be doing another one soon called The Road to Perdition, which should be fairly exciting.
Cool.
All right. So are these going to be also in festivals and screenings?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, Quiet Season's very nearly finished, but we're going to be going again to Colin, hopefully, to get some of his fantastic music again. And we're going to be shooting Road to Perdition in the next, about 2 weeks from now?
Oh, wow.
So, no, it's going to be quite a lot of things coming up. And in the summer, I'm hopefully going to be working on a feature with a friend of mine that I met in Wales. Her name's Hayley. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but she's going to be doing a feature as well. So, I've got quite a full slate. Plus, Russell's trying to get... I'm not sure if he talked to you about the film he's trying to get made at the moment. So I shouldn't maybe say.
Yeah. He told us that it was coming up, but we haven't talked about what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. He says that it's he still wants to keep the secrecy, but then he told us that when it's time to open up the box, that he will give us some kind of exclusive interview about that.
We know it's a Books of Blood story.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll be getting to work on that as well. But really, apart from these projects, I'm just really on the lookout for other projects to work on. And, can I get my website at all? It's www.jimmyjohnsonhorrorfilmeditor.com. If anyone needs any editing work done, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you have links to your movies there in the website?
Not the YouTube shorts, but my YouTube was www.youtube.com/badbadjimmy. It's been a strange sort of journey getting to work on the film, because I kind of was doing my little projects, and then suddenly I've kind of got the chance to kind of work on these sort of big time things, and it's just such a surprise and such a wonderful thing for it to have kind of blossomed into this massive phenomenon. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily phenomenon, but it's just done so well. It's sort of it's been talked about in Total Film. They had top 30 some extended cuts of films, and then Nightbreed was number 14. And it was just
Empire
wow.
Magazine and Rumors.
Pretty impressive. Yeah, pretty impressive that for a movie that has not had the restoration completed yet, it is already at number 14 on Total Film's list of best extended cuts of films, right? That's just a testament right there to how much people are anticipating this Cabal Cut.
Well, and to all the hard work that you put into it also. Geez.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Ever since those tapes were found, it's just crazy how this thing has snowballed.
Absolutely. The thing is, it's like Russell says, during the introduction, is that it's all about the story. The thing is, if it was just an action film or something, I don't think people would sort of enjoy it in quite the same way. But where it has these rich characters and such a fantastic story, just being able to kind of have it realized, I think that's kind of what's carrying it over for people.
And it's a hint of a much bigger thing, and I think that the mystery of it makes it so compelling, and why 23 years later there's still all these people that want to see it.
Absolutely. The thing is, I would have been 6 years old when it was being made. So it's such a crazy thing that this thing's kind of always sort of existed.
I was reading all those Nightbreed comics back in '93, and I saw the movie back in '92, I think. So it was and then I got that book, the making of the film, which I also got around 92 or something. And I was always like, wondering, why are these pictures in the book so different from the actual scenes? And it's like, the script doesn't have anything to do with the film that we got. And I was always like, there's got to be some way that somehow this movie will. And then after the advent of DVD and after I started watching DVDs with deleted scenes, I started fantasizing maybe one day this movie will come out in DVD with deleted scenes.
Yeah.
And then the movie came out. It was a complete strip, bare bones edition on Region 1. There wasn't even a region for me or for Europe. I mean, for Jimmy, did you have the VHS or a DVD of Nightbreed?
I mean, honestly, the first few times I saw it was just on TV, and then I'd sort of seen it on and off over the years because I'd sort of recorded a copy, but then it was only since sort of starting to work on it that I got to really appreciate it in such a massive way. Because before I started on the project, Russell gave me a copy of Cabal to sort of check out, so I kind of had a good feeling for what it was, and that was just an absolutely amazing thing to kind of find out what the story really was, and then being able to just make it happen, or as close to making it as close to the book as possible.
Last year, I was talking to Mark Miller, and about in 1995, I think it was. I was at a book signing for Sacrament, and I hung back so that I could talk to Clive Barker after it was all over. And I, my question was, when is the Nightbreed extended cut Laserdisc going to come out? And he said very soon, and it's going to be 25 minutes longer. And it's amazing. And of course he had planned to do that, and he had no reason to believe that the footage wasn't around. But yeah, it's amazing. What a long journey that Nightbreed has been on.
I have to say, what's more amazing to me is that all this time that footage was in Clive's studio, and he had no idea, and it was completely found by accident.
Well, if you saw the studio, you would understand. I mean, it's...
Yeah. But that's pretty mind-blowing that he was like, well, they never gave me that footage. So it's like, oh, man, I mean, I wish he had found that out sooner. I mean, I know that Mark Miller said he found those in a spring cleaning at Seraphin. But it still blows my mind that those tapes were there behind a dresser for 20 years. And nobody knew they were there. It's like, an unwittingly, they made a time capsule. And finally that time capsule popped. And, in dropped those two tapes. And finally that allowed us to have the Cabal Cut. So in the end, it all worked out.
I mean, it seems like the right time for it as well. I mean, if they'd sort of found it maybe 10 years ago, I'm not sure if it would have been quite... Well, no, I guess I'm maybe sort of shortchanging it a little bit. But I think... with a lot of the sort of films that are in the cinema at the moment, otherwise, fantasy's kind of big again, horror's sort of quite big again.
And stories where the monsters are the good guys have, I think, only in the last 10 years or so.
Even though that started off in 1931 with Frankenstein, it never really caught on until the 90s again. I mean,
well, and with social media, too. I mean, we've had such a much better opportunity to promote Nightbreed than than that petition that was only just in 2009, only 3 years earlier, right? I mean, and that didn't get anywhere, and that only got 900 signatures. 900
signatures in 3 years. We got 1,000 signatures in 1 week.
Yeah.
And now we're up to 12,000 something signatures on the petition, so that's...
Yeah, I think just a lot of things really came together at the right time. I mean, Russell meeting with Clive and getting those tapes so that you could edit them, and us seeing the movie and then the screening at Mad Monster Party where we were able to get the Occupy Midian started.
Yeah, it's just synchronicity, I guess. It's just the right things popping up at the right time, and right synergies. Fans meeting together and helping make this happen. So that, like you said, I understand what Jimmy was trying to say a while ago. If it was 10 years ago, maybe this wouldn't have gotten so big, and I understand that because, like you said, social media also had a lot to do with this. and the fact that nowadays, magazines are also all on the internet. So all these magazines are like Rumor, like Fangoria. The news come out about movies, and the news come out almost weekly. I mean, you can know what someone is doing when they're recording a movie. It's like, oh, here's pictures from the set from this movie, and this is like this person has been cast for that movie. I remember when I just found out about Hellraiser 4, when I saw it show up on my video store. I was like, oh, hey, it's like nowadays you go through all the little development hells. You find out, oh, the Weinsteins hired someone to remake Hellraiser. Oh, they fired him. Oh, they hired another person. Oh, they fired them again. Yeah. It's like, oh, now they rewrote everything. And now it's like, It's like when you get to the point where the movie's actually done, you kind of lose heart because it's been going through so many things. Yeah. You fought it through so many mires that when you finally see the end result, it's like, oh, I was expecting a little more. And at the same time, but anyway, all this stuff happens because of the social media as well. I mean, that really helped a big part in rallying people to come to the screenings, to get the information out there, and to show the studio how much the fans want to see this movie.
Well, and as I think I said before, it's created such a community around it as well. There is just that feeling of camaraderie around Occupy Midian, which just kind of is sort of so reassuring and sort of so. I can't think of the right word, but it makes you feel good about the whole thing, and it's it's just a really positive action where so many people can kind of come together and push things forward to make it happen.
Yeah, like extras from the film showing up and showing pictures they took 20 years ago. People showing up, hey, here's the prop that I have. I have this guy from the movie. It's like, wow, take some pictures of it, share it with us. Yeah. It's just crazy. I mean, I remember when I was on those Yahoo groups, and I was trying to find, Yahoo groups for Nightbreed, and then it was just spam, and nobody would say anything special, and then it was someone like, hey, did you guys see this movie? I saw it last night on TV, and it's like, yeah. So basically, thanks to Facebook now, you get all this stuff. I mean, I'm not going to say thank you Zuckerberg, but at least thank you Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Facebook's made a huge difference for us too. I mean, just we've been able to interview all these people involved in Nightbreed and Hellraiser, and it's just become so much easier to get in touch with people.
So yeah, we'll be sure to link your website and your YouTube channel to the episode. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us and taking the time to explain all this stuff to us.
But no, it's been fantastic. Thank you, guys.
A quick correction there. One of the future projects that Jimmi Johnson is working on is a movie called Letter from Perdition, not Road to Perdition. Road to Perdition is another movie that already exists. So this is Letter from Perdition is a film that he's working on. And anyway, there's that. So this has been episode 32 of the Clive Barker Podcast. You can find Jimmi Johnson at www.jimmyjohnsonhorrorfilmeditor.com, all one word. And Jimmy is with Jimmi, so jimmyjohnsonhorrorfilmeditor.com, and we'll put links in the show notes. On his YouTube channel is youtube.com/badbadjimmy, and you can follow him on Twitter at thejimmyjohnson.com, TheJimmyJohnson at thejimmyjohnson, not .com. Sorry, it's Twitter. I don't know. I'm tired. Anyway, you can find us on the web at www.clivebarkercast.com. This podcast is on iTunes, so if you happen to be in iTunes, maybe go over there and give us a review. That we really appreciate that. You can find us on Facebook, and the Occupy Midian group is Facebook/groups/Occupy Midian, and join the group, sign the petition. On Twitter, we're at BarkerCast and at Occupy Midian, and the forum for the Clive Barker Podcast is timewins.com/Clive/forum. And the official website for Occupy Midian is www.occupymidian.com, and that one is that belongs to Russell Cherrington, and it's maintained by Christian Francis. So anyway, this has been a great episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We really had a lot of fun talking to Russell Cherrington and Jimmi Johnson. So thanks for listening.